time I heard the morning song of the bees as they were humming about a eucalyptus tree and getting the honey from the eucalyptus tree. And there was like a constant sound of, I guess it was their wings, their moving wings, and make like I cannot imitate the sound. It's so amazing sound.
Sound like this.
Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jana Yati Asu Vairagyam Jnana Chayat Ahaitukam. This is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. These are grillos.
No, cigarras.
¿Grillos, cigarras no son lo mismo?
No.
Chicharras.
Chicharras y cigarras sí son. Ellos hacen este sonido con las alas.
El corazón y la mente. Vasudeva Bhagavati. Bhagavati es la comprensión de la suprema personalidad de Dios y amor a Bhakti Bhagavati. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. With Bhakti, with love, you can understand Bhagavan Vasudeva. Jnana Yati Asu Vairagyam Jnana Chayat Ahaitukam. When you do that, you jnana, your knowledge, it will come automatically to you to understand the things rightly. You don't have to make a separate intellectual effort to try to penetrate the divine realm. This is a shloka in the Bhagavatam confirming the beauty and everything, what is being taught by the great Vedic masters. If you give your life and soul to Krishna, if you practice Bhakti Yoga, you don't have to be afraid that you're going to be missing out on the side of spiritual understanding. Even in a temple, if a devotee just is very surrendered to his service, but he may be not so intellectually inclined, he may not even listen to so many classes, but he may in his heart have the deepest understanding of what this Vasudeva Bhakti is actually all about. Therefore it says, one who listens carefully or one who executes devotional service. Bhakti Yoga includes that, to do devotional service to the Lord. Then all the benefit will come to him. He does not have to worry. He doesn't have to feel himself, let's say nobody's superior or inferior because of certain amount of studies. This is one of the dangers, actually. One person thinks, I'm a great bhakta, I read all the books, I can explain everything. Whereas these other ignorant fools, they don't know hardly anything, they have not memorized any mantras. All they're doing is service, no? But you're quite wrong. The inner inspiration, the inner illumination comes right from the Lord in his heart. So we should not take this shloka to mean that we should not study and just do service. but we should do everything from the heart. And we should do everything with love. And that is a degree of surrender which is sometimes put to test. Actually, devotees sometimes have that doubt. Should we read more and serve less? Should we dedicate more to our private personal development or more to helping others by preaching to bring them to Krishna consciousness? What is the appropriate way? What is the most recommendable way of action in this case? So this is a kind of a question which may arise in the mind of every bhakta. And the truthful answer to this quest is that the solution comes from the surrendered attitude, that you're actually ready to do what has to be done. You actually do what is requested from you. Sometimes you may be requested, like some devotees say, take over a temple. And they become so busy managing this temple, they hardly find time for some of the details of bhakti. But they're doing bhakti all day. There's so much bhakti, you can hardly see bhakti. But it has to be an obedience inside. To get the grace. Bhakti yoga means to act according to the sweet will of Krishna. That means you have to act to please the spiritual master sincerely. That's the only thing which has any importance. So if the spiritual master says, go and take care of all of these people, then when you take care of so many people, you have hardly time to take care of yourself. Any mother can tell you the story. Especially mothers who have 4 or 5 children. They can tell you, oh my God, this is every day running after the one, the other. Is this one dressed? Is this one fed? Is this one taken care of from the disease he has? Are they not fighting amongst each other? Are we going to have their new school dresses ready? Mothers are really like very, very busy, and therefore they may not be able to read so many books at the same time or do things like that. Do they miss out? Are they in an unfortunate position? The answer is no. Not at all. Those who do service with love and surrender, who are actually trying to please the Lord and to do all these things which are required to please Him, they are completely blessed. They are so blessed that they will get prema-bhakti if the Lord wishes. There's no hesitance. They don't have to come another lifetime to just study all the books. There's another shloka which says pretty much the same. Yasya devi para bhaktir. Yasya devi para bhaktir yata deve tata guru tasyaiti katita hiyar aktam prakashanti mahatmana. Vasudeve bhagavati. No. Yeah. You could have taken the garbage. Anyhow. Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tata guru tasyaiti katita hiyartang prakashante mahatmana. So this says, when you render service under the spiritual master with love and devotion, all the import of the Vedic transcendental wisdom will be automatically revealed to you. This shows the importance, the excellence the super excellence of devotional service and the surrendered attitude. It is so super excellent that you can even get deep inner realizations from it. More than you can even imagine. Because the attitude of devotional service, yasya deve paraguru, yatadeve tataguru, to take the order of the spiritual master as your heart and soul, that means you have a new life. And it's not your ego life anymore. Because if you do everything your ego tells you, you don't make any spiritual advancement, even though you may risk your life for your ego. Don't forget that many people risk their life. They climb mountains, they do all kinds of funny, silly things. Just for what? For little name and fame. I was with one friend who went up to the Mount Everest, a Bengali gentleman. I was in Burdwan in his home. He was on the Mount Everest, climbed all the way to the top. But he had no more toes. All his toes of his feet had been frozen away on the Mount Everest. And he wasn't happy either, he was chain smoking. So, you don't get there by climbing up the Mount Everest. For your ego, like these people who drive this Formula 1 cars, my goodness, that looks really scary, no? And then before you know it, 1, 2, 3, you end up in the morgue. From the Formula 1 car, finished. Everything gone in seconds. So, for money, name and fame, people sell their bodies. It's very sad. They are selling their bodies for a little material gain, but they don't want to give their soul to Krishna for eternal gain. Can you imagine? It's very nice, but we have one translation there, one translation there. Maybe you should sit together and organize this a little bit. Itu traduces. I don't like very much two languages at the same time, but we have to tolerate that. That's part of our life. So nice. Actually, we are very lucky in South America that we have one huge continent, all one language everybody can understand. Hungary, a few people speak one language, next door Polish, next door Czech, next door Slovakian, next door Bulgarian, next door Romania, next door German, next door Italian. Just been a few that's wrong. And then in Yugoslavia another 4 languages. No? It doesn't make it easy. No? And everybody of course loves his language. No? And has to keep it. So we have to translate the transcendental books into all the languages. Big job. Very big job. So, coming back to our topic. The heart and the mind, the brain. You want to understand everything here in the brain? You can get a lot of knowledge, but you cannot understand things. Because the understanding is in the love. The love is in the service. Mother cannot say to the family, I love you all so much. I love you all so much. You are my beloved family. I wish you will always be happy. But I'm sorry there is no breakfast. I'm sorry the house is dirty. I'm sorry your clothes wash and all that. A very strange relationship. So, mother's love is service love. And she is so beloved because of her service love. Those who just give lip service love, they are not so highly appreciated. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. The next day, oh, he's with another woman. What do you mean he's with him? Yeah. No, he loves somebody else. Oh, really? Was that love to begin with? It's a laughing stock of love. Nothing to do with love. Lust and love, they're diametrically opposite. Even though we manage to sentimentally give a little over paint to say, no, it's very romantic. This relationship is really such, like they say in Spanish, wow. A queen soul. The other side, the other part of the orange. That's it on earth. There's so many nice romantic ways of saying it, but forget it. If God is not in there, if He doesn't have a principal position in your life, in this relationship, then it's a very fragile relationship. This is the fragility of this material world. Everything is fragile. And what's so fragile is because it actually has no consistency. Like in karma, karma is not fragile. If it's meant to happen, it will happen. Period. You don't have to say, oh, maybe the karma will not manifest. Don't worry about it. It will. But the material promises, they are fragile. The world of material hankering and lamentation, oh my God. I wish I had, I wish it would, I wish. So we are searching for that real love, that spontaneous love, that love which is beyond knowledge, beyond calculation, that love which is really of the highest, most excellent quality in the world. Do we deserve such love? You can get love of all kinds. If you want to consider it love. Unfortunately, in our society, we think that sex is love. Can you pay a prostitute to love you? You can pay her to have sex with you. Can you pay her to love you? I know the answer is pretty obvious. But how different is it in our relationships? How much are our relationships covered by lust and desire and greed? And how much our relationships are really based on on loving service, on wanting to please the other person. In India, they teach the bride that the husband is representative of the spiritual master and God. And they teach the man that your wife, she's the goddess of fortune. You want to mess around with the goddess of fortune, man? Really stupid, because everybody in the world is interested in fortune. If you mess around with the goddess of fortune, and you think, oh, I'm going to get myself another goddess of fortune. You don't know who is the goddess of fortune. She's a divine controller of everything. So, what can I say, Love can't be a cheap thing. When everybody says God is love, the solution is love, and love. This has nothing to do with lust. Nothing. If you mix those two, like Osho style, then you get nothing. You get AIDS. That's what you get from that conception of love. If you want the real love, then you have to go by the mother standard. Mother standard is the beginning of love. Highest transcendental love is even more intensive than mother love. Why? Because mother love, in the sense of mother service, it lasts 20 years or so. And then in a way mother says, okay my child, now you go on your own. And sometimes mothers and daughters and sons are not even getting along afterwards. That's surprising, no? How can some people who grew up 20 years together in such a dedicated way not get along ecstatically? You know why? Because of ego. Ego is there between mother and son, and mother and daughter. That's why mother love is not pure. The purest of all love, it is simply on the basis of divine contentment. Is God pleased with what you do and what you think? Is He? Is that the criteria? Just like when you get married, in Krishna consciousness, after the appropriate training, and you accept that Guru and Krishna, they have 90% of the say. The wife has 5% of the say, and the husband has another 5%. Together that makes 100%. Now if the wife says, I'm not satisfied with 5%, I want 6% of the say, or 7% of the say. And then the husband may say, okay, I'll accept. You 7, I'm 3, Krishna 9. But there will never be any disharmony, because 90% means the well-wisher of both. God's sweet will can never ever go against him or against her. But it can go against mine. It can go against stupid, capricious, material desires instead of serving Krishna. Like yesterday, one of our friends who is here with us, he said, every time I have a desire to do service, I think he left last night, no? Whose partner had died yesterday? Raul. So he said every time he wanted to do some charity, he had a big fight with his wife. And he has a lot of money. She's not losing something if he does some charity. It doesn't decrease her life standards, to say. She's not even making a sacrifice. But every time he wants to do anything, he has a big fight with his wife. So this is something which is really silly. So if you keep 90% Krishna in the family, you can never have a divorce. Never. Never, never, ever. Because God will never say, now you get it, you this way, you that way, cut the children in half. Never. God will always say, shut up, harmonize. What you want is not so important. Here important is what we have to do for the welfare of everybody. You got married, you brought these children in this world, now work it out. I don't like. Shut up! Work it out. I mean, there's certain things in life, have to work it out. It's like in the traffic. In the traffic, you have to work it out. You drive on this side and you drive on that side. Work it out. If somebody's really careless, to jail. You can't drive around as you wish. If you are guilty of causing an accident by your negligence, you will be found guilty up to the point of jail. First a huge fine, and then they take your driver's license away. Never again. It's like anybody who's going through a divorce, he should get his marriage license withdrawn. Not capable of doing marriage, so marriage license is withdrawn. Go become a brahmachari. Good idea, we get some more brahmacharis. No? Maybe a new way to get brahmacharis. Make the proposal. Because it cannot, these things should and cannot go wrong. If you cannot drive as you like, or you go to jail, how can you manage a family as you like and let it go down to hell? And have the children get traumatized, and all their life they have this suffering. I have a father, I don't have a father, my father loves me, he doesn't love me. Then comes the padrastro and all this story. That's not an ice cream, you know. That's a very harsh piece of reality you have to learn to live with. Because children can't do anything about it, no? Children are very indefensive. That's why parents are gurus. Because, like the disciple, he's not so capable of defending himself. The guru wants to lie to him anything. The disciple always going to find out. Maybe he finds it out later when he really gets into it and studies the details. And that's very, very, very terrible. If the disciple loses the faith in the spiritual master, then his whole face is shaken. So, according to the Vedas, the parents are gurus. So they have to work it out. They have to learn how to work it out. This popular saying, I just don't feel anything for her anymore. Can you please turn around? Let me whip you with a good stick. Ask you, do you still feel something on your back? Yes? Well, that's what you feel. It's very little to the pain you cause when you say, I don't feel anything for anybody. And I know that I'm not married, thanks God. Thanks to Prabhupada. But you know something? I feel a lot. And I feel a lot for everybody. So much that I could be married with almost every woman I know. Because they're all wonderful. And even though I'm not married to them, I feel so much for them. And I don't want them to be mistreated. And I also love the children. I don't want them to be mistreated. So, I don't think it's difficult to feel something for somebody. Leave alone that somebody is the parent of your child. Or you don't feel anything for the person, that you better fix your feelings. Go to the workshop of feelings and get a good overhaul on your feelings. What is this? What kind of feeling? Okay, he insulted me. He offended me. Yes, there's some terrible things happening sometimes. Sometimes we may even have to forgive something. If there's no forgiveness, there's no love, because God is forgiving us having mistreated so many circumstance so many people. If there would be no forgiving in God, we would all be very bad off. So if there is forgiveness in God, why should there be not any forgiveness in you? Especially for saving a famine. Now, of course, I'm not saying that this should be abused. So it's okay. We should always be forgiven, so please, my dear wife or me, my dear husband, anything I do, you should just go along with. No. As a matter of fact, one of my very highly respected Shiksha gurus, Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj, he said, if that person you're married with is destroying or making your spiritual life impossible, then you can leave. But then you become a brahmachari or a Vishnu. Then you have nothing more to do with that business. If somebody is so terrible, he destroys your spiritual life so that you have to decide with that person's spiritual life is impossible. Then, on the search for God, God is more important than marriage, more important than even your children. And some people don't understand. Some people think, oh, no, my child is God. Your child is not God. Your child needs to be educated to be God conscious. You have to be Krishna conscious. Then you teach your child to be Krishna conscious. Then you live a Krishna conscious life with your wife. Then you have a wonderful life. And then when you get old, if you're lucky, that's a difficult topic. If you're lucky when you get old, you're not so attached to your wife so that you can actually take sannyas. I know some people that love their wives so much when they think about taking sannyas, they almost faint. No, I shall go and leave her alone. Impossible. You know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, when my guru told me my dream that I should take sannyas, I was horrified. And Bhaktisiddhanta repeatedly came to him and told him, take sannyas. And he said, I was horrified. That means Prabhupada loved his wife and his children. That's why he was horrified. Nowadays, when the children are grown and you want to spend the rest of your life in more dedicated spirituality, then this is permitted. And you can actually go ahead into the path of renunciation. This is allowed. But you should be responsible. You should look that your wife is under proper care, or maybe the wife is just as advanced as you, who wants to open a Vishnu Priya ashram, or she's going to look after the kids, right? It's all a question of beautiful arrangements. Spiritual life is always a beautiful arrangement. Of course, sometimes life is not such a beautiful arrangement. If you're in a wheelchair, it's not really a beautiful arrangement, but a wheelchair is a beautiful arrangement. It's not a beautiful arrangement that you end up in a wheelchair, but it's a beautiful arrangement that you have a wheelchair because you can still keep moving around. I have one friend in Vrindavan, she gives out for the handicapped at least like 30, 40 wheelchairs every year. Those who in need, they have wheelchairs, they can also drive around, they're really like sophisticated, nice for going in the street and driving. So things like that, very nice, no? But you see, we have to make the best of a bad bargain. That is the secret of spiritual life. This material world is quite a lot of a bad bargain. So how do we turn it into an advantage? By surrendering to Krishna, by connecting it with Krishna. Connect your poverty with Krishna. Connect your riches with Krishna, whatever it is. Connect your ugliness with Krishna. Connect your beauty with Krishna. Connect your ignorance with Krishna. Connect your learning with Krishna. Connect your fame with Krishna and connect your infamy is not, but connect your unknownness with Krishna. Everybody can connect something with Krishna. There is a way out for everything. Connect your sanity with Krishna and connect your addiction with Krishna. If you have an addiction, you connect it to Krishna by giving it up for Krishna. By becoming humble, by whatever. Everything has a Krishna solution. Everything has a Krishna sweetness. We take this as a confirmation. They have a lot to say, don't they? The only sad thing about this, I've repeated the same type of instructions at least 500 times, and still people manage their marriages without taking these things. It's like the mode of passion and ignorance takes over. Like something you should have. When I married somebody, and I married at least 1,000 couples in my life, I don't take count of it how many, but when I marry somebody, I always tell them, you cannot give up this relationship unless you try to save it, at least 10 times with my help. I put myself in trouble. I say, I'll be ready to be there. But then again, when people have marriage trouble, it only has value to help them if both of them accept your word as the last word on the situation. If at that point they say, I don't care what you say, I have my own way now, so then of course the spiritual master can't help either, no? So the condition for being a marital assistant or counselor is you have to be accepted. So, because I got so frustrated, people counseling me and not following what I say, now I would almost like to say, I give you consolation, but only if each one of you individually gives me €100. Then I will give you consolation, because otherwise you don't take my words for serious. At least you take them €100 for serious. But that sounds like a good joke. I didn't get the first time €100 from anybody for consolation. Even though for consolation you should get more. I mean, the temple should get more. I don't know. People don't take anything serious. They just blah, 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 blah. And in such a case, then I say, you have to go to a judge. You better discuss your situation with the judge, because then you have to accept what he says, because his word is final. You don't take my word as final, then what's the use of my word? I don't know how I came up with the subject this morning, but anyhow, maybe like we have this joke in amongst brahmacharis. They said some people are mad to enter the marriage ashram, and others are mad to leave it. So it's a mad rush this way and that direction. Mad rush. But at the same time, marriage is such an important thing, But without marriage, we don't have those beautiful children. And those beautiful children, they are really, those beautiful children, they are the future, We always say our children are the future. It's not a joke. In Krishna consciousness, we say the same thing. Our children, they are such treasures. But the treasure will not become a treasure with a Nintendo, and with a PlayStation, and with other things like that. The treasure will become a real ratna, a real jewel, only when given the proper polish as well. Jewels are polished. And that's the polish of love. The polish of love, the Guru's love, the parents' love, the teacher's love. Everything's done through love. Just like the love of this wonderful tree. I feel so happy, so comfortable here, so accompanied by such a person who's most probably, I would say almost 100% sure, an associate of Lord Chaitanya. When Lord Chaitanya was walking upon this earth, this tree was already here. Can you imagine this? This Prabhu. This Prabhu was already giving olives at that time. This is really amazing to think about it, What to speak of its specific beauty, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, taking the inspiration from this Mallorca mela, we should go back. We were talking about the cleaning. Should we start the initial cleaning this morning, like we discussed, and then we have a seminar where I wish you can come all, specifically those who want to take some responsibility, like we were doing last night already, some Ishtagosti, Seva Ishtagosti. Finally you will only do the Seva which you want to do, I know that, and that's okay. But if you feel that you need some extra seva, I have a few extra sevas. Then you can talk about it, or you come to the Ishtagosti, you hear what we are planning, what's going on. I definitely recognize that Krishna has blessed you a lot. Gandharvika, for example, she's so blessed as our Vishnu Priya representative in Göteborg, with a beautiful farm which is like a dream place. Hari is blessed. This is most amazing Indritala Sattva project. Sivananda is blessed, and all the people who work with Nimai Musi. Maharatna is blessed. with what he has here under his care. Yoga Shakti is blessed with her participation, inspiration, now seeing that her children are growing up and want to be also more independent. You know, say, before I did everything you said, but no, I need more space. That's also natural. It also has to be respected, specifically people who are intelligent and capable. They need their service areas and so on. And the learning experience. Vishwanath is blessed. He can do so much, and I didn't know he had such a sweet mother. Really. And I don't say that just to flatter. She really reminded me of my mother. The other day I spoke with my mother. The first thing she said, did you already sign the Avas collection of signature for the bees? I said, Mother, no, I didn't. Oh, you better sign this. I mean, my mother's 85 years old, no? Totally into the environmental protecting Mother Nature. I guess I got it from her, you know. I was amazed. I'm so proud of you to have you as a mother, you know. And so, it's really good, no? But just having something doesn't mean we make something out of it yet. We have to make out of everything, every time. Prabhupada said, every time we move some energy, or God moves some energy, at least 50% of that energy should be God-centered thinking. The other 50% may be maintenance, sustenance, whatever, no? Life. But if all the 100% energy is just turning in business, increasing business, we're going to repent it later. Some crisis is going to take it away. We don't spend it wisely, the crisis is going to take it. And therefore we have to keep certain things out of our own reach. Some of our things have to be out of the reach of economical disasters. How do you do that? Well, you have to create a society, non-profit. You can be in charge of it, it's no problem. If you're an honest servant of the truth, you can be the protector of it. That's what means guardian of Mother Nature. You have to be a guardian, just like you're a guardian of your children, guardian of your wife. A good guardian just never lets anybody down. But specifically this power, this potential which we have, which was given by God to us, we have to give it back to Him. It's all given by God to us. You have nothing absolutely which God doesn't have given to you, including your talents, including your charisma. Your charisma belongs to God, it doesn't belong to you. You can be the biggest, the best salesman in the town, but if you just do that for you, useless. In the end, it's no glory. Mother Prema, so much knowledge with all her background and her big heart, such a potential, such an important member of our Swedish Yatra. And Siddhanti Maharaj, what to speak of Siddhanti Maharaj, he even became a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Maybe one of the very few disciples of Srila Prabhupada from here. And then we have other members who are not here, for example, our Gopeshwar, who is actually bold enough to step out of his comfort and go to Cuba. I told him, are you crazy? You want to move to Cuba? What are you going to do there? And he used to manage a lot of business for rich Indians in the Canary Islands. And finally, the ones he worked for surrendered, they cheated him and took everything away he had. It was unbelievable. It reminded me of Yasyaham anugrinami harishyeta chanang shanai. Krishna loves somebody very much, he takes everything away from him which keeps him from going to Krishna. You better use your things for Krishna before Krishna has to take them away so that you will become into Krishna. A little tip. A little advice, good advice. You see, this is the life. So, Gopesh was going to Cuba, and some devotees are helping him, because Cuba is very difficult. He's actually planning to start something there, so some devotees are doing some financial help. That's okay with me, even though I don't like one center in one country to be really dependent on the other country, but to get something started, to give a help is absolutely no problem. Charity is love. We can help somebody. And maybe, I don't know, maybe for 1,000 euros in Cuba you can buy a shop or something. Cuba is, everything is upside down, you don't know what's going on there. Somehow they manage. I have already, Gopeshwar has some 30, 40 devotees there in the island, which he preached to through the internet. I mean, the other day say, okay, send the PDF so that they can read. They says, yes, but there's no ink in Cuba. Only the government has ink to print out. So they have printers, but no printing ink is available. Okay, good luck. Huh? Does it matter? Are we depending? We have a Mahamantra. You don't have to print it out. Write it in stone, write it on a leaf. We are happy people. We have everything and we don't need anything. Isn't that happy? And whenever we have something, we are ready to give it to anybody. Because we know it belongs to Krishna. It's a very, very unique philosophy of life. Of course, it's only applied by those who are really advanced. Those who are not so advanced, they may not be so capable of applying it 100%. Well, then apply it 25% at least. But apply it, man. You don't apply the wisdom of the sages and you end up without the wisdom of the sages. Because you get it from applying. So, Subal another big power for our Yatra in Göteborg. Priyananda, I'm waiting for her amazing South America cinematic Chasqui tour. Going everywhere, showing her movies in every temple, preaching Ikwashenduna and getting people inspired, identified. Because I can't do that. I am not even supposed to talk about this. I'm supposed to just talk about Radha Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm stepping a little bit out of my tradition to make possible all these connections will actually happen, and the real goodwill of the heart-to-heart relationship happens on many levels. But other people, they can talk about this fantastic, especially the Chaskis. Priyananda is 100% Chaski for the love of the Lord and the love for everybody involved. And Maharatna, he's a Chaski too. He's a Chaski of the knowledge of agro-consciousness. He could do a very wonderful tour to all the eco-yoga farms, give them tips to this, to that. He should also publish a little book, or at least a website, where he says Maharatna's the vices for the eco-yoga farm. Huh? Yes, this is, life means sharing. I am not a writer. I'm just a, what could you call it? Sounds terrible, technocrat. I'm like, for managerial details, I may be good. I'm not a writer of bhakti literature. It's been written by great devotees with the highest realization. I don't feel that I have anything to write there. But this is the way it goes, Everybody writes what he can write about, where he can serve humanity with something. So, even though, when I look at Maharajna, he's so humble. He knows so much. You look at his farm, I tell you. It was one of the best farms of ecological love and care everywhere I've seen in my life. I've seen. Mahari is also, when he gets into it, you can see, wow, Mahari, this is really, you love this. And he knows what he's doing also. Not only, one thing is loving, and another thing is knowing. I don't know what they know about agriculture. I never spent so much time on it. So a Chasky is somebody who stands in front of others and says, yes, that's what we have to do. And it's done this way, this way, this way. If you want to learn from it, write it down. So if you don't write it down, it goes in one ear, goes out the other, and forgotten. So let's work and get things done. This is the power, this is a potential. And each one has a potential. I'm very surprised when I hear Surya Kunda speak. First of all, he doesn't need an amplifier. It's naturally built in. So there's a born speaker. And now just have to find the subjects and find the listeners. And there you go. Give seminars, enthuse people. And of course his background, Mormon church and all that. He knows so much. Maybe some things he also has to learn new from Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada is an incredible genius and high spirituality power. And Uddhava was born in a Vaishnava family. All his life he's with Krishna. And now at this age where everybody dedicates himself to enjoying, he decides to become a surrendered brahmachari and told me, I do whatever you say. Can you imagine this? In his age to say that? And I know he's not faking it, he really means it. Can you imagine what responsibility that puts on my shoulders? The 21 young, talented boy tells me, I do everything I say. Govinda Gyan was telling me the other day, can you give me a good service? Yeah, I wish I can, but people are intelligent, and if you want to give them a service, you have to be very intelligent about it. You have to really think it over with all the details. Does it work, and how does it work, etc. It's not easy. So sometimes Krishna gives us the service to find and to create our own service also. I am not able to give everybody a full engagement. Of course, on principle, yes. Tell everybody about Krishna, the highest values of life, and be happy making others happy. I mean, that service I can give to each and every one. Standing order. Now I can die. Because you already have the service for the rest of your life. I don't have to worry. Somebody said, did you give them service? Did you leave service with them? Yes, I did. I told them, tell everybody about Krishna, make them happy with the beautiful treasures Prabhupada has given to us. And when Brahma goes back to Bulgaria after we get him really hyped up, and also seeing all the things what we are doing South America, and then Bulgaria is such a wonderful place. Not for material enjoyment. No. Bulgaria is a wonderful place for practicing Krishna consciousness. You see what it is? It is so incredible. All the factories are empty. They're not working. They're just shells falling apart. All the factories of the past. They produce things, whatever they produce, but there's no market for them. Because the previous market was Russia, and now Russia is not friendly with them. So it's pretty much, and the European market wants Bulgaria to be a buyer, but not to be a seller. So you got closed on one side, invaded from the other side, and bankrupt in the inside. So that's wonderful. So the Bulgarians can help me to preach all over the world. Or they can make wonderful things in Bulgaria. Simple living, high thinking, there's a lot of beautiful land, a lot of beautiful people. Can you estimate the value of anybody? Every individual has more value than all the riches of the whole planet. You cannot buy a person. Every individual. You cannot say, oh, this is a billionaire. Yeah, okay. That's nice. Well, it's probably not nice. You probably make all this money doing all nonsense in the world. But at least, okay, he's a billionaire. I hope he does something good with it. Otherwise, he isn't worth more than any poor guy in the street selling peanuts. You cannot put a price tag to a soul. And we are souls. We are on the journey of the soul. Nothing will help you having power and things in this material world. It will not do it. So you see, this is what I'm thriving on. I'm thriving on your potential. Because I was meant to meet you and to feel joyful that I can meet you and invest in you what I got from Prabhupada. And part of this investment is spontaneous, loving, devotional service. To a certain degree, you have to figure it out yourself. I can't tell Gandharvika everything she has to do every day. I just give her some ideas. Hey, this farm, use it. You are partners like the Vishnu Priyashan. Go out, preach to a lot of people. Make sure when you go to Nimai Husit, you put the female love energy there. Because sometimes the men, they get too heady, too much in the head, too little in the heart. Sorry to say, my dear gentlemen here. Men have a problem with their head. So Gandharvika, Prema, they are all female Shaktis there to make sure this thing doesn't go mad. And everything is just sweet and open for other women to join, be protected and everything. Spectacular.
Sir,
yes.
can I tell one idea?
No, later.
Yeah.
Otherwise you take my train of thought. The Valencia subject is still up for study. I have two powerful daughters in Valencia. And something powerful should come from that. Or we have to export them. Teachers, designers, they're not anybody, they are very powerful Shaktis of Lord Krishna. And like this, in this way, some of you I don't know that well yet. I may not have a full idea what you can do, which doesn't matter at all. You can prove it by showing what you can do and what you like to do and how you want to do it. And just know one thing, that this is what the human form of life is all about. Growing, learning how to give, how to love. And in the same way you will be rewarded with so much love. More love than you can contain. The love you get back in this process of bhakti is so much love you cannot contain. Therefore just keep your doors open that it runs right through you to others. Don't try to contain it like a miser who wants to contain all the riches in himself or something. All the name and fame. Always privacy, privacy, privacy. Forget about privacy. It all belongs to the higher purpose of life. Your time belongs to the Lord. Now you just have to make an intelligent decision how much of this time goes to class giving, how much of this time goes to personal study and chanting, how much of this time goes for beautifying our temple, how much of this time goes to growing organic food so that we don't eat junk food or poisonous food, and. And there'll always be more to do than there's time to do it. That's normal. Get accustomed. There's always more to do than you can do with the little time you have. So don't get desperate about that. Just do what you can. And give your love. Give your love, give your love. Give your love to everyone. And besides that, of course you're welcome to visit me there. In India, in Kartik. I'm going once a year to India to be 1 month in one place, so people are really eager to be more days with me in a row. That's the only time in the year you can. That's the only time I'm staying in one place, and not only in one place, because we go every day to the different holy places of Krishna and Radharani's pastimes. It's a very special month, the month of Kartik, because it involves going to India. I don't mind it because it's the holy land of Krishna and it's a sanctuary of top degree. And when you go there, you get inspired to make sanctuaries where you live. I'm not trying to bring everybody to live in India and Vrindavan. That would be a disaster. But just go visit there, pick up the nectar, and come back and put it and plant it. Plant it. This is our job, planting. And also nurturing. Planting and nurturing the plants. So thank you very much for coming out here. Nice little walk into the mountain, visiting Olive Prabhu. Oliver. Oliver Prabhu. So now you can say.
Yeah, I am thinking the people around the world, it will be better thinking about heart and feeling about head. In head. You understand me? Yeah.
Here we have the neurons in the heart, and they have to be listened to. There's one Bhakti Yoga saying, it says, Jnana Sunya Bhakti, The Bhakti Yoga, which is going beyond the jnana or the knowledge faculty, it is free of that. It's just the free-flowing love from the heart. Even though it may look irrational, it's 100% appreciated. My Gurudev, he gave one example of that. He said one time the Prime Minister of India, that was in the British times, he visited the governor of India. And there was an order from the governor, nobody can come inside his office. And the secretary was sitting in front in a desk, and nobody can go in, strict instructions. But the Prime Minister is also a heavy, important guy. So, and he had some very urgent business. And he had to go. 2 times the secretary told him, no, you cannot. Strict order, nobody can go inside. 3rd time, he just walked by her and just went into the room. And what did he see there? He saw the governor, the viceroy of India. He was on the floor like a horse, with hands, and on his back his grandson was sitting. And the grandson was saying, run horse, run horse. Huh? So out of love, a viceroy's become a horse. Huh? So this is an example how there's something much higher than knowledge. When there is free flow of love, all the other things they become meaningless.
No, that is right.
Okay. Any more questions? Commentaries? Otherwise we go on our way back because it's a good walk.